Hello and welcome to your 2018 Sagittarius Great Mother Speaks full moon reading. This year it is on May 29th. Great Mother speaks to those of us who are experiencing mama drama trauma. This deck and these readings are specifically designed to offer clarity, balance, and confirmation to those of us consistently and persistently experiencing abandonment or abuse from the mother or maternal figures that impact our lives today. This person could have abandoned us in childhood or could abandon us in adulthood through addictions or through death. This is not about blame or shame. This is about identifying how we feel as a distinct human being from the issues, unhealed issues, traumas imposed upon us in childhood. I am Tammy Taylor, an inner work life coach specializing in mama drama trauma condition, in which the mother projects unhealed aspects of herself onto her child, causing emotional and or physical trauma. Now, in cases where the mother is unable, unwilling, or unavailable to heal, loving detachment is required. So we talk about that in the readings. We deal with mothers oftentimes who change like the phases of the moon, and so it's difficult for us to distinguish how we feel from our mothers. And so these lunar readings are designed to cultivate, to nurture, and to actually grow and evolve the space within us to have the ability to do that for ourselves. We look at the sidereal, the soul sign. So the sidereal moon sign, this full moon is in Scorpio, in the nakshatra of Anudra, that vivacious, creative, caring, stellar mansion in the sky that the moon will be in as it is reflecting the light of the sun in Taurus in the nakshatra, the beautiful, enhancing, gracious Rohini, this composure riddled, compassionate, devoted, noble energy of the sun. So we look at the soul astrology, the sidereal, to ascertain that soul space. So if you are Sagittarius, that means that more than likely your sidereal sign is in Scorpio, making this your first house, and also your halfway mark of your lunar new year. Be sure to check out in the playlist your lunar new year readings if that hasn't happened for you yet. Stay tuned, because every new moon marks the lunar new year for your new moon sign. So the Taurus lunar new year readings have just been posted, and the Geminis will be coming up. Of course, that is Taurus Gemini with the Taurus in the sidereal. Now, these are posted according to your Western. If you're new with us, want to be sure that you understand that the full moon in terms of Great Mother is really focusing on really paying attention to what those new moon intentions were that you set. We've been doing some readings that focused on those new moon wishes. Great Mother offered 5. It suggested that 10 be a maximum. Want to do some research on that? Go to greatmotherspeaks.info/vlog to see what those suggested new moons readings have been for the last 2 months. We're going to kind of move away from that. As you practice on your own, you gain your own rhythm, you gain your own stance of understanding how that energy works. These readings will make a lot more sense to and for you. With this full moon, we're really looking at the cleansing, purification aspect of what has come forward as a result of your new moon intentions. And so again, you might want to check out what those suggested ones were if you did not set them by Great Mother, and to see what is coming up in your internal life at this particular time as this full moon in Scorpio Sagittarius purifies, cleanses, and really tests the mutual feelings that you have. Now, mutual feelings have to do with, of course, our personal and professional relationships. With the moon reflecting the sun, it's always on the opposing sign that we find that solar energy. So the sun now is in that Taurus and the sidereal Gemini in the Western. So your moon sign attraction will naturally be to someone with that Taurus, Gemini, Sidereal, Western axis. Of course, the Western astrology has to do with our emotional ego energy. Western astrology is an earth-centric astrology, and we do the reading from that place to have a conscious hit from what Great Mother is saying from that deeper space, and you find what resonates best with you. So, with no further ado, here are your May full moon readings from Great Mother Speaks. Gemini, Cancer, moon people, this Scorpio, Sagittarius full moon is 6/12th house energy for you. Most of you will have Gemini as your sidereal soul sign. That is the Vedic Jyotish astrology. And that is where your intuitive energy is more than likely downloaded from. For you, it's downloaded from Gemini, which is a very communicative, understanding, diplomatic type of energy. And so that's probably how you sense your intuition. These are very sensitive internal spaces to which Great Mother speaks. But you're emotional, you're more ego-oriented, how you identify yourself as an individual this lifetime. Your earth centricity is your Western astrology and the Cancer sign. And so Cancer, of course, is ruled by the moon, Great Mother energy, and in the soul sidereal Gemini is ruled by Mercury. And so very mercurial type of intuitive energy for you. And so Great Mother probably comes through for you quite clearly and quite loudly. And your emotional sense is one that connects very much with the moon. More than likely, you want to double check your signs below. You may be Cancer in the sidereal as well. 6th and 12th house energies. You are approaching this full moon with a sense of self-compassion. So for you, this full moon is all about you allowing yourself to be yourself. You allowing yourself to love yourself for who and what you are, specifically where you are as well in your life at this time. You are owning it. You are realizing that you have done or you are doing the best that you can do. Or Great Mother is coming through and she's encouraging you to do so. She's encouraging you to own who and where you are at this time and to do so in a compassionate way. Your transformative opportunity is to live in loving detachment. The Angels card. The angels are assisting you to be more self-compassionate. There is someone or something in your life at this time that is causing you grief, and Great Mother is wanting to pull you away from that situation emotionally, far enough away for you to clear your space, for you to purify your energetic field. And the angels with the double yin, double yang are assisting you on an ego soul level. Loving detachment is about accepting what is with love. And we can only do that once we acknowledge what is. And what is for you, there are people or there is a situation around you that is reflecting some aspects of yourself that you may not want to see if you are not at this place of self-compassion. If you are in a place of self-compassion and you are being self-understanding, you realize that people or situations that are coming up in your life are reflecting aspects of yourself that you are currently working through or that you do need to work through at this time in your life. The moon is in your 6th house of Scorpio Sagittarius, dealing with health and life, your service to the world, let's say. And so your service to the world at this particular time may be your personal health. Maybe at this particular time, what you're needing to focus on is your work-life balance. Maybe you are a healthcare provider. Maybe you are needing to really focus on how to get the best healthcare provider for you or for others. Whatever that dynamic may be, what's being reflected is you seeing in another person or in the situation at work or in your service to others in some capacity, the need to take time out for yourself so that you can be another the provider, so that you can be caregiver that you want to be for yourself or for others, because the sun reflects the moon in the full moon. The sun is in Taurus Gemini in your 12th house, which is about isolation, hospitalization, imprisonment. So you may actually be in the hospital beating yourself up for being there, or you have to go to the emergency room for something that you know is a health situation. Oh, I know I needed to watch my diabetes. Oh, I know I needed to take care of this and I didn't do it. Oh, I know. Great Mother saying, stop beating yourself up. Gemini, Cancer, Moon people, you've been going through a lot, and this heart chakra is saying that there is ego-soul communication that's occurring, and you intuitively know that you are centering yourself in a new way of being, and it's affecting your body. When we heal emotionally, all sorts of things happen. That's why these cards have chakras, because they really go into what the chakras represent. You might be having headaches. This is third eye. You might be having migraine headaches at this particular time. You might be having issues that relate to your nervous system. You might actually be feeling a blockage in your heart. You might be having heart palpitations, heart issues. And what Great Mother wants you to know is that by being more compassionate to and with yourself, those symptoms will be alleviated, and the angels are helping you. All you need to do is ask them to show up for you in the specific ways that you need it. So say, for example, you are waiting in the waiting room and you just feel like, oh my goodness, I'm here for my diabetes, or I'm here for, my migraine headache, but my heart just feels like it's about to explode, and that's a whole nother appointment. So I can't even focus, you're in that kind of space. Well, ask the angels, breathe, just breathe. Ask the angels, show me what is it that I need to know right now. I feel overwhelmed, but just give me a pebble stone to walk on right now. What is it that I need to know right now? And they will appear, and they will show you that by clicking your heels 3 times in that direction, you'll be right back home in your inner space at peace. That's how the energies work. You will always know when Great Mother and the angels are speaking to you, because it is always a very direct, kind, loving, still small voice. It's very repetitive, but it comes in and it goes out without a jolt, without intimidation or loudness. It's just very kind, very subtle, but very direct. And it's that voice you want to pay attention to, so that you can see beyond the illusion right now. There's an illusion that someone else or something else has more power over you. You're wanting to grab back into the past. You're wanting to grab and hold on to someone's coattails. And you have sun reflecting in 12th house energies, honey, which means that it's all on you. It's all on you. And it's not on you in the sense that there's any fault or that there's any wrong. It's all on you to process and to identify the truth of the situation and to accept. It's all your inner knowing. All of this is heart above chakra energy. Heart above chakra is conscious awareness. Heart below chakra energy is unconscious awareness, dealing with survival and instinct. But this is heart above, dealing with awareness, dealing with conscious action. And so this is telling me that Great Mother is saying that your everyday life is going through a period of change that is making you feel very uncomfortable, and you're blaming yourself for it, and she doesn't want you to do that because it's inaccurate. That's an inaccurate assessment of what's going on. It's not you personally. It's on a soul level. Your soul is taking a beat to integrate many things that it's learned, and it's learned a lot. The integrity card in your shadow position indicates that in this balsamic moon position, heart chakra card, that the ego soul lessons that you've been accumulating over the past year, because your lunar new year is coming up with the Cancer new moon in July. Gemini Cancer moon people, you're coming into this understanding that's not quite conscious yet. You have heart above energy that's pulling it into your conscious awareness. But because this is in your shadow position, this is indicating that there's some issues of integrity surrounding your emotional state over the last 6 months or so that you really haven't quite taken in since the Cancer full moon, January 1st. The new moon, if you think back to January 1st, the new moon in Cancer, just think back. The new moon in Cancer, that was the very first reading of the year. You might want to go back and look at that reading if that would be useful for you. And that may have been the first quarter reading for you, actually. We have quarterly readings, so that may have been January, February, March for that new moon in Cancer for you. That was your, I'm sorry, that's not your new moon. It was the full moon in Cancer. That's your halfway mark in your lunar new year, in which the most illumination is coming through. Think back to January 1st and what you have learned since then, and be truthful with yourself about it. So again, that first quarter report of the year from the Cancer full moon, January, February, March for Gemini Cancer moon. See what that first 3 months was saying. I know it's a very kind of intense, truncated type of internal space report. And I have worked to simplify them since that time, since I've done second quarter reading and third quarter reading. Third quarter reading will be done in July. But there's something about you telling yourself the truth about what you've learned since that time is the bottom line. And this is related to your self-compassion. You need to tell yourself the truth about what you have learned about these reflections of people in your life. Because they keep on coming up. It's the same type of people, the same type of circumstances keep coming up in your life, and you recognize them, but it's something you're not telling yourself about them, because if you would, they would go away. Once we learn the lesson, the experiences dissipate. They appear and they reappear as we need them. And we need them as long as they go unacknowledged. So this 6th house energy with this moon is all about your health and all about your well-being. So the sun in your 12th house is reflecting that it needs to pull out. In order for you to get clarity about that, you need to take a beat to yourself, a little time to yourself to reflect on that, because the twister dream is coming up. So in your waking and sleeping dreams, there's some things that have come to you about this issue of self-compassion. Maybe you're letting other people talk to you any kind of way, treat you any kind of way, and they keep on coming. And it's something in you, like the twister dream and the Wizard of Oz, that has told you that, but you haven't really done anything about it. You really haven't recognized it as a problem, or you think it's going to go away and it's going to go away on its own, but intuitively you kind of know that it's not. There is eternal grace and mercy, but you have to let go of this tendency not to express yourself the way you need to protect yourself. This is the full moon card of your reading, Brigade. Full moon, throat chakra, selfhood. Great Mother saying that what needs to be released at this time in order for you to be purified in your clarity of understanding the angels when they come through for you, and those moments of prayer and those moments of communication, is that you need to communicate to yourself first and foremost in very honest and direct ways. You need to take your power back internally. You need to speak to yourself in loving ways. Gemini, Cancer, Moon people, you need to appreciate the work that you have been doing internally and realize that even though the outer manifestation might not be what it is that you feel that it needs to be at this time, tell yourself the truth about how far you've come. Even just since the Cancer full moon on January 1st. You've come a long way. And Great Mother is saying that you're not taking that into consideration somehow. And it's causing you, as opposed to this 12th house energy, the sun reflecting your health in a way that you're kind of resting and recuperating. Some of you are doing that, but some of you are beating yourself up, and it's causing you to go to the hospital and have these fits of anger and stuff, and you're mad at yourself. She doesn't want you to be mad at yourself. It's not about that. It's about seeing the truth of the situation. Illusion is in the center of your reading, and the truth of the situation is you've been put on a wild goose chase, and you keep on expecting people to love you in a certain way, and they may have even made promises that they haven't kept, but you know enough by now to realize what the truth is. And she's saying that you need to tell yourself that truth. And this full moon in Sagittarius has the energetic support for you to get that clarity and to receive the support from the angels in a way that you haven't been able to do up until this point. What's going to facilitate your ability to do that is following Mother Mary's energy, the divine law of the Father. Great Father energy, it balances out what we know. It inspires what we aspire to do. The inspiration is the soul's beingness. It's the soul's light and life and dance of life. For itself, within itself. That's the inspiration. That's Great Mother energy. It just is. It's just love. But that energy has an aspiration. And so that's that yang energy, that aspiration to exist in the physical. But when you have a double yang, it not only wants to exist, it has an aspiration for its existence. It aspires to do a specific thing, just as Mother Mary. She had she was inspired by this soul unction to bring forth divine life, conscious divine life. We all bring forward divine life. But when you are a conscious being bringing forward divine life, that's a whole new level that we still haven't been able to replicate. And so there are mystery schools around that kind of replication of life, but it's not impossible. It has to do with this law of divine Father energy that is inspired to aspire to a certain devotional action. And this nakshatra of Rohini that Taurus is in right now in the sidereal sun is a devotional energy. It's a very compassionate energy. And so what Great Mother is saying to you is that you have this double dose of action-oriented energy to facilitate the release of anything that is making you apprehensive about expressing yourself to yourself with compassion. Take it. And as you do, your outcome will be emancipation. Gemini, Cancer, Moon people, Great Mother is coming to you with the message of free yourself. You have the power to do it, and the energies are aligned in such a way to support you in doing so with love and detachment from anything that you perceive at this time that is limiting you. What a beautiful reading for you, this Sagittarius full moon. Thank you so much for watching. But above all, remember, Great Mother loves you, and I do too. For more information about Mama Drama Trauma, visit mamadramatrauma.info.